Hey everybody, this is Rykard here again, bringing you my next black and white Pokemon analysis. Today we're going to be talking about this new bird Pokemon known as Barujiina, so let's get started. So the first thing to make note of is that this Pokemon's name has 3 dotted letters in a row, which is awesome. But other than that, it is a dark flying type, which is similar to that of Honchkrow and Murkrow in the previous generation. It has 3 abilities, which I believe are all new to this generation. The first one is Pigeon Heart, which is an ability that makes it so that your defense can never be lowered. So if your opponent uses a move like Screech or Metal Sound, it won't work because you have Pigeon Heart, so it's pretty cool to have. Its next ability, Dustproof, is one that prevents you from being hurt by weather damage. So if your opponent has up like Sandstorm or Hail, you won't take damage from either of the two because of the ability Dustproof. So this works well, especially if you're running like Leftovers as your item, because that means that you will actually gain HP as opposed to the Sandstorm and Leftovers canceling each other out. As for its last ability, which is its Dream World ability, it's known as Breakable Armor, and it is really unique, to be honest. What it does is every time you're hurt by a contact move, like a Fire Punch or something like that, like a physical contact move, or Grass Knot, I guess, too, because that makes contact even though it's special, your defense goes down by 1 stage, but at the same time your speed goes up by 1 stage, and I guess that makes sense since your armor is breaking, so it's being lighter, so you're losing defense that it would protect you with while be able to move around more, kind of. I guess that's the way of explaining it. As for its stats, you can clearly see that this Pokemon is really not meant to attack, but it is incredibly bulky and probably one of the most defensive bird Pokemon ever. It has 110 HP, which is a lot. That works up to over 400, which is always a good thing. Its attack is 65, so it's really not that good, and there's really no way to utilize an attacking set that effectively with this Pokemon. Its defense, though, is incredible at 105, so you'll be able to take a ton of damage from the physical side and still be able to do whatever your set is meant to do. Its special attack, though lower than its physical attack, actually can be utilized because you do learn Nasty Plot. So even though it is at 55, which is kind of terrible, you can still utilize it, and you will see in a couple of the sets how that is possible. As for its special defense, it's similar to its physical defense, being really high at 95. So basically, you are a really bulky bird, which is awesome. So it is really effective at walling Pokemon, and it can do it really well. And its speed, which is surprisingly high despite it being a wall, because normal wall Pokemon are like really slow, it's actually at 80, which can be utilized to an extent, so don't count that stat out just because you have really high defenses. But now let's take a look at a couple of different sets. So this first one is probably going to be one of its more standard walling type sets. Basically, you give it a modest nature to increase its special attack, even though it's pretty bad, but you at least want to be able to do something to your opponent while you are walling it to an extent. The ability is Dustproof, so you don't take any residual damage from Sandstorm or Hail that are up. As for the EVs, they are 252 HP EVs, 128 defense EVs, and 128 special attack EVs to make you fairly physically bulky and also give you a workable special attack. So you do max out your HP and like half max out your defense and special attack. And obviously, since you're going to be a walling type set, you're going to have Leftovers. As for its moveset, it's fairly simple. You have Taunt to prevent other Pokemon from walling, because this Pokemon does learn it and can utilize it effectively. Roost to keep up your HP. Toxic to wear down opponents, and then this new move known as Bark Out, which is a special Dark type move, And what it does is, even though it has low special attack power, like I think it's 55 power, what it does is that it has a chance to lower your opponent's special attack. So I don't know the exact percent of, like, if it does, or the percentage it will lower your special attack, or if it's every single time. But since you're going to be physically defensive bulky, you have a move now to lower your opponent's special attack to make you be able to take special hits even better. So this makes this Pokemon incredibly bulky and able to wall a lot of different opponents effectively. Now, on the other hand, you have this set, which is pretty much the complete opposite of the first one. You have a Modest Nature again to increase your special attack, because this will be a special attacking set. And then you give it the ability Breakable Armor, so that you can increase your speed when you hopefully switch in on a physical attacker. As for the EVs, 4 for HP, 252 special attack, and 252 speed to give you your max special attack and your max speed with the Modest Nature. Now, the item is a White Herb, which, if you don't know, is a move that prevents stat drops, but is consumed after use. So basically what I'm getting at with this is, you're going to try to switch in on something that is a physical attacker, and then it'll hit you and your Breakable Armor will activate. And normally it would lower your defense and raise your speed, but this time it's just going to raise your speed because White Herb will negate the defense drop. So it makes you, it's pretty much like a free speed boost, or Slackberry to an extent. As for its moveset, you're going to utilize Nasty Plot to essentially make your special attack go really high. Now, as I said before, its special attack really isn't that good, but because you have such good defenses and everything, you're pretty much guaranteed to at least get one up and do damage to something. So it's really cool. And then for the moves, Air Slash and Dark Pulse are just stab moves for flying and dark. And then your next move could either be Shadow Ball, because this Pokemon does learn that, or some kind of hidden power. And for the hidden powers, I would either recommend Fighting or Ground. And finally, for this last set, it's pretty much a combination of the first two, and I like it the best out of the three. Same nature, Modest Nature, and ability this time is going to be Dust Proof like in the first set. As for the EVs, you give yourself 252 HP EVs, 128 defense, and 128 special defense EVs to make you like as bulky as possible in either side, essentially. Like half for defense, half for special defense, and then max HP. The item is going to be Leftovers again, like in the first set. As for the moves, though, you're going to still utilize Nasty Plot to increase your attack, while also having Roost to keep you alive. And then the attacking moves are going to be Air Slash, and then either Hidden Power, Ground, or Fighting. Because with flying types, they're only not effective against Steel, Rock, and Electric. So that's why Hidden Power Ground is awesome, because it's super effective against everything Air Slash is not effective against. And the only Pokemon that really resist this kind of coverage is Zapdos and this new thing Emanga, because they're both flying and electric types. But other than that, you have really good type coverage with these two moves. And at the same time, you're incredibly bulky because of the HP, defense, and special defense EVs, and the use of Roost. So I wouldn't be surprised if you could easily set up like 2 Nasty Plots with this set and be set to go with attacking your opponent. But yeah, that makes this Pokemon incredibly versatile to an extent. Even though it's not the best sweeper in the world, it can become an incredibly powerful attacker if it's allowed to set up. And I know I've seen at least people using Knockoff with like the first set kind of thing, and probably have Protect on there too. But there's so many other Pokemon that can utilize like a Protect stalling, Toxic stalling, Knockoff kind of thing, that this Pokemon is not really allowed to utilize its full potential with those kinds of sets. So if you were looking for one of those or expecting one, I'm sorry that that's not there. But these are my 3 sets for this Pokemon, and I hope you like them a lot. By the way, this Pokemon is 100% female all the time, so you're never going to get a boy one, but I figured that would just be like a fun fact to wrap things up with. So I hope you guys like the set, and let me know what you think. See you in my next video, everyone. Bye.